Well, good afternoon folks, and welcome back to the channel. My name's Lee, your virtual airline pilot. I'm back with you again with another scenery review. We're back in Flight Simulator 2024, and where are we? Well, we're in the Caribbean, and we're in perhaps one of the most famous and most challenging places to land at. This is St. Bartholomew, or St. Barts, on the island of St. Bartholomew in the Caribbean. Tango Foxtrot Foxtrot Juliet. It's a payware scenery by SLH Sim Designs, and you're looking at version 1, the release version, for the PC version of Flight Simulator 2024. Also note there is a version available for Flight Sim 2020. This one comes in at 1.59 gigs downloaded and installs at 3.62 gigs. It's only available from Builds currently. The price is £18.80, which equates to roughly €19.34, or $22.04 US. The euro and US prices are estimates taken from the UK pound, and they include tax and VAT, which of course could vary depending on your country of purchase. This is an amazing airport, well known in Flight Simulator, and to be honest, right off the bat I can tell you that SLH Sim Designs have really done it justice. There's a whole host of features, so let's look at those features now. Okay, so features. So they have 3D animated people that react to your passage. Basically they duck, they wave, and they also record you on their own little video as you pass. Presence is dynamic, so expect to see different people at different times of the day. You've got animated road traffic. It's not just the hill that you have to avoid hitting. Animated traffic and pedestrians must also be avoided. The accurate hill slope has also been set. There's terraforming in general that allows you to hug the hill as the aircraft do in real life. So your approaches to runway 10 are probably as real as we can get. You also have custom 3D modeling, 4K bespoke PBR textures, custom animated passengers, fully modelled terminal interior, a modelled tower interior, working elevators allow access to different floors. That's a new feature. Performance has been optimised better than the default version, and check the note, you actually must disable the default Asobo St. Bart's scenery. You also have animated jet skis and speedboats at various beaches throughout the island. Shopping centre near the airport also has been fully modelled. Gustave Bay has been uplifted. Eden Rock and beaches accurately modelled, and various other points of interests. The runway 28 beach approach populated with animated and static beachgoers. Modelled hangar interior, dynamic lighting, corrected terrain elevations, custom taxiway signs, accurate ground texturing and grunge. And they've also included a GSX Profile for people who use that facility. So as I said, you must note that you must disable the default Asobo St. Bart's before using this scenery, so there's no clashing. Well, as you can see from this shot, I mean, they've done this. Really looks pretty realistic. I mean, the rock in front of me is very imposing, and I think it looks really good. Okay, so let's look at some history. Okay, history. St. Bartholomew Airport, or Gustave III Airport, Tango Foxtrot Foxtrot Juliet, also known as Remedihanen Airport, and sometimes as just St. Jean Airport, is a public use airport located in the village of St. Jean, or St. Jean, on the Caribbean island of St. Bartholomew. The airport is operated by Mairie de St. Bartholomew. I apologise for my pronunciation in advance. Due to its very short runway, very close proximity to the automotive traffic on the nearby road, and the necessity of a special license to land at the airport, the History Channel documented most extreme airports, ranked it as the third most dangerous airport in the world behind Tincotin International Airport and Lukla Airport in Nepal. In spite of sensational videos and intense media coverage, the airport is regarded by experts as extremely safe and requires a special pilot certification for permission to land as a result of its unique features. The airport is served by small regional commercial aircraft and charters. Most visiting aircraft carry fewer than 20 passengers, such as the Canadian-built de Havilland DHC-6 Twin Otter, a common sight throughout Northwest and West Indies as a curiosity. The de Havilland DHC-7 is also the largest aircraft ever allowed to operate at the airport. Additionally, a lighter loaded Douglas DC-3 once managed to land at the airport, making it possibly the largest confirmed aircraft to land at St. Barts. The most common aircraft flying in for commercial service today are the Pilatus PC-12, the Cessna 28B Grand Caravan, the de Havilland DH-6 Twin Otter, and the Britten-Norman BN-2 Islander. The short airstrip is at the base of a gentle slope ending directly on the beach. The arrival descent into runway 10 is extremely steep over the hilltop traffic circle, with departing planes flying right over the heads of sunbathers, although the small signs advise sunbathers not to lie directly at the end of the runway. Both the airport and the island's main town of Gustavia are named after King Gustav III of Sweden, under whom Sweden obtained the island from France in 1784. In 2015, the airport got the name Aéroport de Saint-Barthélemy Rémy de Hagen, named after Rémy de Hanen, an aviation pioneer and later the mayor of St. Barthélemy. Between 2003 and 2005, the hilltop at the end of runway 10 was lowered and the road running up the hill was moved further left, if looking up the hill from the airport, into the newly cleared area. This allowed car traffic to pass directly under the approach to runway 10. This alteration additionally provided pilots with a clearer view on the final approach and came as part of a full renewal of the airport, culminating in its closing for 6 weeks in late 2004. Currently, some 7 airlines and 1 cargo airline, DHL Aviation, operate into and out of St. Barts, including Air Antilles, Cape Air, Tradewind Aviation and Winair. So there you go, some history for you. As you can see, it's a lovely even looking this way, it's beautifully modelled, and you've probably just seen a little bit of animated boat traffic as well. So let's have a close look at this runway and see if it matches the charts. Okay, so runways, so here we are. I've lowered the lighting, it's 6:10 in the evening, just to bring up some of the lighting. St. Barts Airport operates a single runway, 2810, measuring just 2,119 feet, or 646 metres, and is constructed from concrete. The airport lies at an elevation of just 48 feet, or 14.6 metres, and sits within the GMT UTC -4 hours time zone. Now, the island does not observe Daylight Saving Time, or DST, and with the UK currently still on summertime until around about the end of this month, the airport is now 5 hours behind the GMT, or behind the UK. So, runway 2810, okay, we're looking down the throat of runway 10, probably the most famous of the approaches. Both ends feature runway lighting and runway end identifier lighting system. So we can see the runway lighting here, and we've got the end of the lights here, but we can't see the runway end identifier lights. There should be 2 white lights flashing here either side of the runway, but they're not here in the scenery, so that's the only thing that's missing. Let's have a look at runway 28, the other end over the beach. So here we are at the other end, runway 28, looking down the runway. And as you can see, we still have the runway lighting, as indeed we should. We've got a turning area here, which is useful. But again, we don't have any runway end identifier lighting system, or the reels as they are commonly known. 2 white flashing lights, one either side of the runway threshold here. So that's the only thing that's missing. Approaches, okay, so this visual approach only, runway 10 and 28, both ends. You need to check the chart because there are specific approach options as you come in to either runway. Obviously, coming into runway 10, you've got the hill in front of you, and you need to make sure you're slow enough and steep enough to make the landing in the runway available to you. Also, coming into runway 28, again, there are specific approach options to get you lined up with the runway coming in over the beach. So there we go, that does it for runways. As you can see, you've got blue airfield edge lighting, and generally lighting at this time of the day looks wonderful. We haven't even started yet. So that was runways for you. Now there are no jetways at this airport, so let's get down proper, return back to the day and have a look over this airport scenery. Okay, welcome back. It's 8 AM in the morning. I thought we would start at the eastern end over the Sugarloaf Bay area here. You've got runway 28 approach in front of us, and there's the beach. As you can see, you've got animated boat traffic here. They've upgraded the bay, and the bay looks visually really good. Lots to see on the beach for you to explore, and again, various detailed buildings off airport. I mean, we've done a real job here. Nevertheless, let's approach the airport and have a look. I mean, I think this looks wonderful. This is probably one of the best renditions of this airport I've ever seen. As we've seen from the runway situation, the only error we can find at the moment is the missing runway end identifier lights. If you look down to the right here, another animated boat here, or two boats there. So here's the runway. Let's go down a little bit lower. There's the windsock to the right, there's the landside road. And it really does look wonderful. Just slow it down a bit. The cars are really good. Well, again, a lot of different cars, very little repetition. And here we come to the main ramp, and today I've selected a DH6 Twin Otter there on the ramp. Beautifully modelled terminal, beautifully textured ground. I mean, they've done a lovely job. And there you can see a hangar there with another aircraft inside. Here's the very famous hill. And again, you've got people there. The cars are great, they look really good. As we go off the airport towards the northern bay, the western bay even, they've even got smoke effects there, look, on some of the chimneys. And it would appear that a lot of work has been done on this bay. Really does look impressive. And there you can see the other beach. So much for you to explore here. So just a couple of quick shots as we go towards the main airport itself and have a close look. Here you can see examples of this area you pass over on the approach. As you can see, the car details are excellent. There's even a motorbike there, look. And they're on the correct side of the road. It all seems to work reasonably well. Ground markings are really good. Okay, he's partially gone through the centre there, but I think we can give him that. And you've got one animated guy down there too. There's the infamous cross on the hill. And yet another example of animated road traffic. And you can see also evidence here of the terraforming they've done. And a look in the other direction. So let's go down towards the airport itself proper, airside first, and have a look. So there you've got the airside fence. I think that's a Cessna Citation there, not entirely sure. Beautiful palm trees, I love the palm trees. There you can see the ramp, airside ramp looks really good. Concrete texturing looks great. And there to the right you've got the main terminal building. So while we're here, let's have a look at the control tower, which is supposedly fully modelled. And there you can also see people inside the terminal, animated and static. So a quick look from outside. There we've got a young lady in there. And here's the view inside the control tower, and as you can see, you've just got this one young lady who's monitoring everything. Beautifully modelled, all the screens seem to be working. It's great. And there's a view looking towards runway 28. And there we are looking towards the infamous hill at the runway 10 approach. Okay, so a couple of quick shots airside before we look any further. Down there to the left you can see the baggage carousel here. And obviously here inside the terminal we've got both animated and static people that you can see through the windows. Beautifully done airside with the flower arrangement down here. And the name on the building, it looks really good. Oh, we got one young engineer sat there waiting for something to do. Again, this beautiful flower arrangement here on the ramp looks really good. And I also really like the weathering effect that's been done on the building here. Just a quick look in the other direction. There you can see the baggage trolleys that they use. Again, beautifully weathered. And look at this weathering down here. I mean, the detail is really good here. So we're looking in airside on the lower level. There you can see some animated people. Let's go inside. That looks good. It looks very good. So just another view. Got another couple more ladies sitting there. I have found that if you attempt to go towards landside this way with the drone camera, you get bounced. So there are some limitations inside the building. I don't know if they've just put them there or if it's just an anomaly, but you can't seem to go from airside to landside through that area there. Okay, so let's look at the upper level airside. Once again, nicely modelled here, and you've got the elevator there over to the left that works. Just saw the door closing. And you've got this nice lady talking on the phone, moving along there too. Let's see if we can actually move anywhere. I would hope so, because this elevator apparently is animated. Okay, so we're getting bumped up again, so. So there's the working elevator with the doors open. Nobody coming in or out, unfortunately, and the door closes. And just a little look in the other direction there. So there, looking down the corridor, you've got some animated people. Unfortunately, we can't go down there because we're getting bumped. And there's the elevator door once more for you. Okay, so we're inside the aircraft. For some reason, I cannot seem to get rid of this cowling, so I can't show you the view from inside the aircraft. The strange thing is, there's the aircraft as we look at it, but as you get closer, the cowling appears, the covering appears, and I can't seem to find a way to remove that. So finally, a quick look at airside at this end of the building. As you can see, there's the baggage conveyor, baggage carousel, and you've got animated people there airside. So there to the left there you can just see the fire station and a couple of vehicles. As we cross over the airside fence, we'll just have a look at this area up here. I love this. I mean, look, you've got cars and motorbikes, beautifully hand-placed foliage. It all looks really inviting. It's typical of what I would expect to see at a place like this. And you can also just see the slope. There's a slight slope on the runway as you go down to the 28 threshold there. Animated flag. You've also got a graveyard here, which is quite incredible, right next to an airport. We'll cross back to airside. Here's the runway 28 threshold. And you've got the turning area just in front of the beach. There's the beach signs. And here, as you can go and see, the end of the runway area is fenced off for safety. And you've got some people, both animated and static, on the beach, which has also been beautifully modelled. Everything down to the restaurant here. Beautiful. Very nicely done. So we head back to the airport terminal area. This time we'll have a look landside. As you can see, I mean, it looks wonderful, doesn't it? What a job that's been done here. Try and just slow it down for you. Some really nice cars that look really good even close up. Animated flags. And here you can see they've got the uphill properly modelled as well. There's the landside area of the terminal, some animated people. Very nice indeed. Arguably just sort of the right amount of people. This is a small airport, doesn't get frantically busy. But, oh, it's wonderful. So we pass along landside there. You can see check-in. You've got passengers and check-in staff, which I'm really pleased about. And some really nice modelling here too. It's stunning. Okay, so let's see if we can go into landside, into the check-in area. And yes, we can. Almost every desk there, except one or two, is covered with a check-in agent, which is good. And once again, the modelling is just wonderful. And as we look down at the terminal there, towards the west side, and there we are looking towards the east side. Here you've got parallaxing. I think, yes, it's definitely parallaxing, but again it's a reasonably high resolution, so it looks pretty real. So let's see if we can go upstairs. Just follow this guy. Okay, we get bounced out, so we can't go any further. So we come back, drop down. So that's as far as we can go. So there are limitations within the building, but again, beautifully modelled. It really is great. I've got very little to say derogatory about this. It's a full featured scenery, lots happening, animated people, vehicles, and all sorts of stuff, and lots of off-airport things that we haven't even touched yet. Okay, so that was a brief tour of the main terminal area airside. We've got this other side of the runway to look at, which we'll look at dusk. So let's check the dusk area now and see what it looks like. Okay, 6:10 in the evening, and as it is with many sceneries in Flight Sim 2024, the light comes up gradually rather than just sort of appearing, as it were. So this is what it looks like at 6:10 local time. Today is the 14th of October 2025 is the date of this video. In the UK we're still just about hanging on to summertime. We go back into Zulu at the end of this month. And with St. Barts is 4 hours behind us, but here we are at this time of the day, and again, what a beautiful sight. Some very subtle lighting. Nice to see the car headlights on the road. Hard to see the car headlights themselves. Maybe they look better close up, I don't know. And there's the view looking towards Sugarloaf Bay and their runway 28 threshold in the distance. Some parallaxing on the off-airport buildings here and there, and we've got some floating globes around. But other than that, I mean, it looks good. It really does. So a quick tour of airside at the main ramp. There you can see the blue airfield edge lights. There's the fire station. Here we are airside as well. Nice to see that building lit very nicely. And the one in the distance there, look. Some very nice street lighting. There's the roundabout at the top of the approach to runway 10, and there's part of the town in front of us and the bay. What a beautiful sight. Once again, a quick look at the upper roundabout at the top of the approach to runway 10 at dusk. It does look nice, doesn't it? It's been beautifully done, there's no question about it. So let's have a look at that hangar area on the other side of the runway. So here we are then on the other side of the runway there. We've got runway 10 threshold is on the left of us there. We've got this hangar with what looks like a 208 Caravan inside. And yes, it is got a 208 Caravan and an engineer working on it and a couple of engineers there to the left. And what looks like a Cirrus possibly there. And this guy's right next to it, really nice. And finally there you have an open apron and you've got a Cessna parked up in the corner there. So just a quick tour of the northern side of the runway here, which we haven't really looked at. But there's the fence line for the northern side, and you've got this path, little sort of landside road path there. But as you can see, looking both left and right, this area really comes to life. Yet again, another airport that comes to life in the darkness hours. Plenty of Asobo globes floating around here, unfortunately. Don't know what you can do about them in 2024. They're easily removable in 2020. Let's have a quick look at the beach. I mean, landside, it's great. You've got plenty of options there, landside. And they've lit the landside beach bar there, which is good. As you can see, plenty of things to look at off airport here. So I just wanted to look at this building further down the beach. And there you can see yet another beach area to the right. We've got a boat in front of us. And this looks like kind of a little restaurant come hotel. And it looks lovely. It's very nice. It's a typical example of what they do here. And remember, this is way off airport. They've done some great stuff. And there's a high level shot of the same building slightly to the rear, and you can see you've got the boats in the background. So as we pass the beach there to the right, runway 28 threshold. Just have a look landside. It's just a pity about all of these globes floating around. But there you go. Just slow this down a bit. So a quick look at landside at dusk. Oh, it looks lovely, it really does. Building's all nicely lit, and you can see what's going on. Very nice indeed. Okay, quick couple of close-up shots of airside at the ramp here. There's the Twin Otter parked there. And there you can see activity inside the building, some really nice lighting. There's our friend inside the tower. And there's a view inside the tower. Okay, so that was the view at dusk. Let's turn it down to night time now. As far as I understand it, there are no night operations allowed here. The airport operates, I think, really sunrise to sunset. But anyway, let's drop it down to night and have a look at the lighting at night time. Okay, 10 PM local time, and as you can see, the darkness is upon us. Runway's still lit, as you can see it quite well, but you've got no vertical guidance as well, no PAPIs or anything like that, and the runway end identifier lights, which should be at each end of the runway, are also missing, which would make night approaches to this airport pretty challenging. There's probably only one way you could land. I wouldn't even attempt, I think, going into runway 10 at night time. So there we are, looking down towards the bay. That's runway 28 threshold in the distance. And there's runway 10 threshold below us, and you've got the roundabout there with the traffic still going above us. Okay, so a couple of quick shots airside at night time. Not an awful lot different from dusk, although it looks considerably darker and harder to see. Very little ramp lighting, certainly where the aircraft is parked. But as you can see, the terminal itself is nicely lit. You can see what's going on inside. And looking from airside over toward landside, towards runway 28 left threshold on the left side there, you've got the shopping arcade out here, which is also beautifully lit. Taxiway signage, as you can see here, you've got these blue airfield edge lights which look really good, as indeed do the white runway lights. There you've got the Taxiway Charlie sign. And there's the sign Taxiway Bravo is the next exit. So here's landside at night, looking up the road there. And looking in the other direction. The only anomaly I can see here, you've got these cars, their headlights are lighting up the road, but the headlights themselves, as you can see, are not lit. And the same is due about the tail lights. You can't see the red tail lights. There's another car coming down the road. As you can see, that the headlights are lighting up the road, but there are no headlights visible on the vehicle itself. That looks a bit strange, but it's just an observation. I don't know what can be done about it, if anything. And there you can see check-in. Very nice. Okay, so that was night time. Let's bring the dawn up. Okay, 6:25 in the morning local time, and the dawn is upon us. The sun has come up behind us, and there you can see the glow on the buildings. Runway 10 threshold there to the right hand side. And they're looking across from landside to airside. Oh, it looks beautiful, doesn't it? There's the bay, runway 28 threshold in front of us. And there's the sun rising behind the hills to the east there over the bay. Beautiful sight. Okay, 7:30 in the morning, time to wrap up this review and give you my thoughts. Do I like it? Yeah. Possibly the best version of St. Bart's Airport you're likely to see so far. There are some good versions in Flight Sim 2020, no question about that. But here in Flight Sim 2024, SLH Sim Designs have done a really sterling job. They've utilised a lot of features that Flight Sim 2024 has to offer. You've got lots of animations, boat traffic, people, even the elevator inside the terminal. Just lots of things that make this look really good. The terraforming is excellent, as can be seen by this beautiful rock formation you've got here on the other side. They've gone to town on the bay, both here and on this other side here. It's great to see them work on the beach. The airport's been beautifully done. I really got no criticisms. The only criticisms I have is you've got the runway end identifier lights missing from both ends of the runway. They're on the charts, they need to be there. There's two white single flashing lights either side of the runway and on the other end. And inside the terminal, beautifully modelled, but there are issues with bumping. You can't go from airside through to landside, so I couldn't see even if there are any security, for example. But beautiful modelling nonetheless. And finally, the only other anomaly which we just saw there during the night time, the vehicles, I mean, they're excellent, beautifully done. But they light up the road, but the lights themselves on the vehicles are not showing. That just seems a bit strange. But those are the only little faults I can find, and they're really kind of niggles, really. It's not going to stop you enjoying this airport. Here you can see the beautiful slope that exists at the real airport and has been modelled properly here in the simulated version. this a lot. What about the price? I think it's really competitive. £18.80, just under £18, just over €19, and pretty much $22. And those include tax, by the way, at 20%, which could be a bit cheaper depending where you are. I think in the US the tax rate generally is about 8%, so it might be a bit cheaper. Yeah, and it's not a huge install, just over 3.5 gigs. Well, it's not massive. And the other thing is you've got a version available for 2020 as well, which is good. I don't know if that's a separate purchase or whether it's available when you buy this one. Not entirely sure. But there's a lot to like about this. It really is a lot to like. It's beautifully done, especially where it is. It's been set very nicely into the default terrain, and some of that terrain has been remodeled. It looks great, it really does. And yeah, I like the price, no question about it. So if you want the best version of St. Barts for 2024, currently in my opinion this is it. If you've got other ideas, let me know in the comments what you think. So there we are, folks. It's St. Bart's Airport on the island of St. Bartholomew in the Caribbean. Tango Foxtrot Foxtrot Juliet. It's a payware scenery by SLH Sim Designs, and this is the release version 1 for the PC version of Flight Simulator 2024. Note there's also a version for 2020 that's available as well. Download comes in at 1.59 gig and it installs at 3.62 gigs. It's available only from AnyBuilds currently. Priced at £18.80, which equates to roughly €19.34 or $22.04 US. The Euro and US prices are estimates taken from the UK pound, and they include tax or VAT, which may vary depending on your country of purchase. And note that I generally do these conversions on the day I do the video. Obviously currency fluctuates up and down, so those are estimates only. Loads of features, loads of things for you to explore. Just a beautifully done airport, and yeah, thoroughly recommended. So if you've been on the fence about this, there you go. I hope it's helped you. I like the airport a lot. I can't really recommend it enough. And just to let you know, I bought this. I wasn't sent it by AnyBuilds, but as ever the thoughts and comments are my own, and they've not been influenced by AnyBuilds or anybody else for that matter. I just think it's a great airport. And I'm enjoying reviewing some of these 2024 sceneries. Things like this where they take advantage of the facilities and animations that are offered in the newer version of the sim. Well, it looks great. It's just wonderful. So there you go, folks. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned this week. I do hope to get 2 other videos out. We'll be looking at Gatwick Airport, again by AnyBuilds, the 2024 version. Which is somewhere I worked. I spent nearly 11 years at Gatwick. And we're also going to be looking at Roberts International in Africa, in Liberia, scenery by Africa 4S. It's a payware version for Flight Sim 2020, which is another little scenery in Africa which really has come to life. It looks really good, so stay tuned for that. Hopefully I'll get that out before the end of the week. So my name's Lee, thank you for joining me, thanks for watching, appreciate all your support. Fly safe guys, enjoy this and other places, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.